GM.
Like, you normally think the funniest thing of the morning would be something that happened on crypto Twitter, but you should go check your DM.
Oh, god damn it. I posted the wrong one.
How much are they paying you? Don't lie to me. Come clean. Guys, I have a big revelation on the show right now. Bored Ape Yacht Club, the parent company, Yuga Labs, has been paying R2 for months, it seems, to say positive things about Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Dogs. I'm
a shell on the level of Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, Post Malone, not The Weeknd.
Now, he doesn't have any Yuga in his wallet.
Yeah, I just don't get paid in Bored Apes. I just get paid in.
He's throwing everyone off. You see?
Now I don't want to get sued.
This bit was brought to you by the funny mistake where, as you're gathering notes for the show and you have to copy paste a lot of links and stuff like that, R2 thought he was pasting the link to the AlphaMint show in the AM General.
Yes,
but he posted a link to Jimmy the Monkey's trial.
Well, I mean, this is the scrounging for content right now. That looks like a good link.
You know, that's a big I don't want to say it has to be a big deal, but you know, if anyone's gonna get us out of this, it's Yuga. They're doing it. Notice how everyone's doing their stuff into the most bullish season for NFTs in general, right? Like, at least they're trying to play the seasonality. This is the time when NFTs tend to catch fire, and you see airdrops abound in the next few weeks coming our way. You see Jimmy the Monkey, now the next phase of Bored Ape lore, ape staking, and of course, a successful mint so far in Valhalla. Not a lot of these quote-unquote successful mints nowadays. I think it's smart.
There's been a couple lingering around. We got the Plague going on. Right. It's been interesting. I kind of just, you know, in a little bit too late kind of fashion, started looking into it. I don't know. There's something there. It's very movement cult kind of.
How did you get flipped? How did you get flipped from 10 minutes ago in the pre-show till now? Did you just look at the website and you're like, no, this is it?
No, I'm not saying that I'm buying into it. I'm just saying, like, reading about it, they're very like. I think they're speaking to people, I guess. I don't know. I was reading it though while we were talking.
The worst part about our recent Plague is I had to wear a mask when I would buy bagels.
You guys don't still have to wear masks though. No. That's all done, right? Yeah.
I have seen people increase the mask usage but here's what I think.
I'm okay with that.
Me too, because
you don't feel good. Like they've done it in Asia forever. It's not, you know, you don't feel good.
If you have a cold, you should wear a mask. Okay, that's a good, because coughing into your hand or coughing into your arm or just coughing into the air is what spreads germs. Coughing into the mask reduces it a lot. So when you're the one who's sick, you should be wearing the mask.
Yeah, or I mean, if you just want to take that precaution, I'm okay with that. I mean, our government was flirting with the idea of bringing the mask mandates back, and it was just like, you know, I see, and I see.
Where do they have this energy? I'm so tired. Who even gets up in the morning like, let's go govern?
Well, and here's the thing. I feel like we've reached a pretty good point where, like, people are if people are out and wearing masks, I don't think anybody else gives two shits. I'm sure there's some people that are in their mind being like, goddamn masks. But, like, you know, by and large, I don't see somebody wearing a mask and be like, shame on you. It's like, that's fine. That's your choice. That's great. It's great.
I only make mean comments in my head when I see double and triple maskers. Now, I know, and again, if you're going double or triple, there's probably a reason, okay? So even that is insane. You know, you could have an immune deficiency or something where you are extremely sensitive and need to go full.
I try not to, like...
N95, right.
Yeah, you never know what somebody's situation is. Just let them live their lives and move on with yours. Anyways, masks are not, I'm sure, not what people want to hear us talk about. So
While I find the coffee mediocre, not bad, because they really raised the level of where you could get a good coffee in the United States. Like, coffee was terrible before Starbucks. It just was. Like, it was
yeah, you're talking like what, Dunkin' Donuts and
that was probably some of your best coffee, right? Like, it was
yeah.
it was, you had to know a place, or you just drank shitty diner coffee or shitty deli coffee, or you made it at home, right? Like, Starbucks raised the idea of decent public coffee. It's not bad, but I will say the best part about Starbucks are their holiday cups. Boy, does it get me!
I like the Starbucks coffee. I mean, it's not like it's cheap or anything. It's not super expensive.
No, it's good coffee.
Honestly,
it's good coffee.
They have a great app.
Yeah,
like they do the app well, and I mean, we've talked about it in the past. They are jumping into NFTs with their loyalty program, and I'm here for that too. But like, man, I get a lot of free coffees and shit from the Stars thing. I mean, the reason I get Starbucks versus making my own lately and whatnot is that it's like a perfect distance of like a good walk in the morning to just go out and get moving. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's right beside my apartment. So, you know, with that proximity, it's nice. Just, you know, bundle up, go for a walk, grab your coffee, and then, you know, you're back in 15, 20 minutes and, you know, you've moved. But I mean, you know, once I leave, I order it on the app. I show up, I walk in, I grab it off the counter, and I'm good to go. It's nice.
Yes.
There are probably better coffee shops around, but I don't know. It's a good medium for me. But you love the cups, eh?
I love the holiday cup, and I like their peppermint latte. My only recommendation is ask for half as many pumps because it's too sweet.
Yeah, they go heavy on the sweet.
They go a little crazy. So if you go 2 pumps instead of 4, and again, I'm not a sugary drink type of person, but at the holidays, I'll have a hot chocolate.
I used to be. You know, I used to get the old double from Tim Hortons and, you know, all that shit. But I cut out a lot of like unnecessary added sugar, which is fine. That was just a personal choice. But now going back to them, like I ordered a peppermint mocha from Starbucks last week or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, like how did I drink these on a regular basis? Like once you get rid of it, it is so strong.
Yeah, I like the sweet to be in my baked good or pastry. I like coffee to be the base, and then I like something sweet, and then you got the dunking, the going back, and it balances out because then you take a bite, you take a sip of coffee. That I like. I just, you know, it's not that I don't like the sweet, I just like them separate. I guess I'm a purist. But really, I talked about this, and my dream for the new year is a pre-show where I make a hand-pulled espresso every day, and maybe feature a beautiful strain of AAA cannabis once a week.
Okay. This is like the morning, like the wake and bake. Wake and bake. Like, you make pastries,
and that's the thing. It's not going to be a talking thing. It's not going to be intensive. It's the ASMR.
What, is this like cameras in your room or in your apartment that just
it'll be
show
literal,
you waking up and walking around like a zombie?
It'll be literal cinema cameras aimed down at the bong and at the coffee, and it's not about anything except the ASMR. I don't, you know, for people who like.
I've heard the way you cough after you take a rip there. There's no ASMR involved in that.
That's what, again, it's not you. Likely there will be a soundtrack, and you won't be able to hear what's going on, with the exception of the sound effect. I'm coming up with a whole. I want microphones near the items, very light music in the background, and you're getting the sounds of the coffee, getting the sounds of breaking up.
I bet there's at least 1,000 videos like that on YouTube.
It's a Instagram Reels thing. If you get into the coffee niche there, You'll see. You'll see.
I maybe I told you this. I get a lot of drumming videos lately. I guess the algorithm has recognized the fact that I get hooked on watching people play the drums.
Yeah, what have I been hooked on recently? And it pisses me off too, because then they start.
No, I enjoy it, but yeah,
pisses me off when they go like, "Oh, let's only show him this now because he stopped on this video for 4 seconds." So
yeah, I have a couple of those. There's a couple that get me every time, but like, yeah, the drumming. I love watching people play the drums. It's
like
fucking awesome.
sometimes you'll see something on the street that's appalling and disgusting, but you can't look away. The algorithm should know. That doesn't mean I want to keep seeing those things.
Well, it doesn't mean you want to. It means you do.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is going to be I think a quiet week, and just so everybody knows, we are going to be taking next week off of the show. Actually, in fact, we're going to be back on January 4th, so that's a Wednesday, and get back into the swing of things. Of course, we'll be doing the Friday show, so we'll still have one on Friday this week. But after that, we're gonna shut it down for a little bit. Just it's it's quiet out there. People have family stuff that they want to do, or just look away from the screens for a little bit, or I don't know, maybe if something incredibly exciting happens that we feel the need that we have to get back on and talk about, that could be a thing. But I think it would have to be pretty big, So, but we'll keep.
There's nothing good that could get us back on the air. This is the bad. There's nothing out there.
That's true, right? Yeah, it would only be something bad.
Here's just something I want to pose to everyone. Imagine if you went to bed Christmas Eve. Okay, you're snuggled up tight. You can't even hear a mouse. You could hear a pin drop. Light snow just starts to fall outside the window. You put on your cap and gown and you lay down and you rest your head on the pillow. And then you wake up. And as you're having your coffee, you go to check your phone and you see that ETH has doubled 100%, up to $2,400. No news, no reason. No one knows what's going on. You just wake up. Coins double. Christmas morning. Why? We don't know. For no reason.
Are you saying that's going to happen? Is that your prediction?
I am saying it could happen.
I will take the under on that one, Bob.
Okay.
It would be nice. Hey, I wouldn't say no to it.
I don't know what people would do. I want to see it more just to study the human behavior more than the financial gain. Sure, the financial gain will be great, but
yeah, you mean just the pure pandemonium of like
we need something that doesn't make sense.
Especially if you don't know what it is, because that's when everybody is like doing anything they can, all the mental gymnastics to try and figure out what caused it. The reason I think is interesting, because imagine being like, no, honey, I can't open Christmas presents right now. I need to go watch Coin. No. Put that phone away, young man. It's Christmas morning. You better not even mention that coins are fucking up, or you're gonna instead of the fake holiday fire on the TV, you just have a live chart of ETH
right.
USD.
So on a day when it's very hard to break away from family, and some people may even be kicked out of their house for using electronics on the holiest day of the year. It would just be interesting for me to see what would happen there. I think there would be, and then I would love for it to fall 25% randomly in the middle of the day, and then come right back an hour later and make a new high.
You're really just looking to fuck up people's Christmases, is what I'm hearing.
I think the one adage that I've always found true in markets is never short a dull market. This is not a dull market. This market is dead, buried, cremated, decomposing. It's dust. That dust has been formed into other life forms now. Even the dust isn't dust anymore. That is how dead this market is. It was
Well,
never born. It's so dead it was never born.
it's pretty funny because, you know, I looked at that like 7-day kind of chart when I pulled the screen up. I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of a leg up there, and it was like a $20 leg, and that's still how tight that range is. You know, I'll pull it up right now, but ETH sitting at 1217. It was at what, 1880? Sorry, 1285, or sorry, 1185 the last show. And for essentially the last 7 to 10 days, it's just been trading completely in range.
Well,
but
let's
you
talk
know,
about.
we're looking back here. It's just like this was that big leg up. And I'm like, oh, it was only $30-$40, and then it's just gone absolute sideways again. So
Well, let's talk a little bit about market psychology and market mechanics, right? Because we know that the very first level thinking is like news moves price. Like news comes out and it makes the price move, right? But what's really happening during periods of consolidation? And most periods of consolidation this year have been bear flags, right? We've had those long sideways moves that we would eventually break down and out of. But what's happening during that sideways move? Now, we talk about it a lot on the show where at the top of the range, everyone's super bullish. We're all going to blah, 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 and da, da, da. And then at the bottom of the range, everyone's super bearish and we're going to zero and everything's going to collapse. Now, the longer you stay in that range, the more people you're adding to each side. You often hear the metaphor of the spring, spring getting loaded, right? Because let's say you buy the top of the range, all right? Or let's say you bought anywhere in the range feeling bullish. If it just goes back down to the bottom of the range, you're not going to sell. You're just going to be like, well, you know, until it breaks the bottom of the range, I'm staying in my thing. Same thing with shorts. Shorts are doing it at the top. They short somewhere, and as long as we don't break above the range, they keep their positions. And you just add more and more, and that spring keeps getting. The longer you go sideways, more and more and more. And what tends to happen is you get a false breakdown or breakout, either way, and then it reverses and does what it actually wants to do. So we have now obviously been in an extremely tight range. And if you take out some of the noise and just look at the volume profile, so a volume profile on a chart will show you how much of a coin or a stock was traded at a certain price. So you can see where most of the action has been. And we have been in a $1,200 to $1,300 range for a pretty long time right now. The spring is very loaded. The fact that the order book is not very liquid right now is going to exacerbate whatever happens. And
yeah, one way or another.
One way or another. And we're going to find out. But
well, a lot of people take these weird headlines and run with it in a strange way, like, oh, a record number of Bitcoin is leaving exchanges. And when you're in this period of uncertainty of like the FTXs of the world, where you're hoping that everybody is solvent and actually has the proper checks and balances to make sure that people can pull it out, that's terrifying.
yeah.
But in the opposite, when things are good and all of that money is leaving the exchanges, everyone's like, yeah, there's less to trade now. This is going to be great. Well, I mean, people are moving their money off of exchanges, whether or not that's a sentiment because don't trust them, or, you know, I now intend to put this into cold storage and hodl for a long time. Either way, like, that to me says it's bullish. It makes, you know, the actual amount being traded very scarce, and in a liquid market, that does make things go pretty fucking wild. If there's even a little bit of buy pressure, right?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong about that? You know?
No. It's accurate. We are the dullness is it tends to wash out bears eventually. So it with the macro tailwinds, I just do think that even if there's a false breakdown, the next move is up. I don't know how much up it's going to be, because the main issue in crypto right now is lack of interest. It's not, lack of liquidity, okay, but it's lack of interest in re-entering this market right now. You know, rich people are going to sit around and wait for somebody else to go first, and then they're herd animals and they follow. But there's a period of chicken where you're just staring down the other person, waiting to see who makes a move. And that can go on for inordinately long amounts of time. Though, again, it has been proven that the longer it goes, the more it benefits bulls. So we will see.
Do we all of a sudden become a little bit bearish on Doge with what's going on with Elon and Twitter? Like, is that all of a sudden like, is he going to be at a point where rocking the boat or making these big sweeping changes that people believe Doge will be a part of now is maybe off the table for a while? I mean, it's down worse than most coins are in the last 7 days. I mean, not to be completely unexpected because it is fall under that kind of altcoin category, right? But
And that's it. I think it's really a story of alts here. Alts have
right.
been absolutely killed. If you
And
want,
they were up too. Like if you look back 7 days ago, while ETH and Bitcoin were
right.
flat, alts were actually doing reasonably well against them.
So there was a mini alt season, and alt season has stopped now. Good alts. Okay, let's talk about my three favorites: Doge, Phantom, and Ocean. They are still 50% higher than the lows that they had made. So they have good relative strength. And if the pattern holds, you would expect now that alts have pulled back and they're kind of at support right now. You know, if they break here, they could fall another 50 or 60% from where they are. That is how precarious these levels are on most alt charts. And if we are entering at least a mini bull set, you know, GCR called it an echo bubble. So I don't know exactly what he meant by echo bubble, but I'm assuming what he means is that next year he actually expects a mini replay of 2021. That may sound crazy to a lot of people, but think about sin waves and how it's a repeating pattern, just less each time. Okay. So, what if Bitcoin rallies 100% next year to 30,000, which is half of what its peak was, right? 32, 35, whatever you want to say, which is half of what its peak was. But that's a nice little mini bull market. What happened during our bullish phases? Well, alts would move, then they would pause and pull back, then spot would move, then it would pause and pull back. Then it was this dance back and forth during our bullish trends. Now that alts have pulled back, is that money going to rotate into spot? We will see. That would be a good bullish indication to me. Is if now, of course, you're always going to have random alts that show relative strength or do well. But now, if let's say the Doges of the world, the XRPs of the world, all these coins that had their own little trends going on, let's say they pause for a month and spot goes to 20,000 Bitcoin, 1,600, 1,700 ETH. That feels pretty bullish to me, in the sense that when that happens, I'd probably want to rotate back into alts and think maybe they're going to take another leg up. And then spot takes another leg up to 2,000 ETH, and then it can fall back again. So again, I'm not predicting it's going to happen. I'm saying watch it, because if alts pull back and now spot moves up, that looks like the old bullish trend pattern that you would see in these markets. Let's see if that can happen. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe a reasonable segue into like the Coinbase all-time lows too, right? Down 87% from the start of the year. It is sitting at about $35. Its high a year ago.
Oh my.
Was that its high? Was it actually a year ago today, or is that just the price a year ago? $268 on December 21st. So pretty down bad. Probably worse than most
Down
coins.
battery.
But I mean, it's hard for me to believe that a company like Coinbase is not going to be the recipient of a huge swell once once crypto starts coming back, even if it is a mini kind of bull run, like you said, even just a short period there. But I mean, they're getting hit from crypto being down. They're getting hit from FTX news. They're getting hit from laying off employees and all of that stuff. But I think, as you pointed out, and maybe you want to go into depth about this more, their market cap is actually lower now than when they raised money. Was it their Series A or something?
When they first raised
You go.
money in private, I believe it's their Series A, that would be I think it was a $9 billion valuation. As of yesterday, I think they were $8 billion, just underneath that. And if you want to hear some stats, back when they got that investment, they had 3.3 million users. And I forget exactly what the revenue number was, but it was very little. Fast forward to today, when they have a lower publicly traded market cap, they have 101.5 million users, and they are pulling in $3.2 billion of revenue a year. They hold over $100 billion of assets on their platform. And again, total value locked is not a metric. So
Right. Yeah. You don't get to bake that in. Yeah.
But when you look at all these stats, it shows you how much they've grown since then. Now, obviously, that's tempered by the fact that, one, they were paying for future growth back then.
Yeah.
So you're always anticipating. Why would you even pay them that? Because you thought they were going to grow like this.
And money was free, right? The incentive was to acquire as many employees and as much growth as possible because it didn't cost you anything.
Right. Now, the Coinbase stock being $36 or whatever it is here. As we know, volatility in the short term is not predictable and anything can happen. But it's the same thing with crypto. You look at the price of crypto right now under the 2017 highs, and you say, really, we've made no progress since 2017? I find that hard to believe, right? So it's the same kind of argument for Coinbase. There's obviously a counter argument to that. You know, if business continues to go down, the business is going in the wrong direction right now. We believe
100%. Yeah, you can't deny that.
We believe it's a short-term trend. And remember, markets are future discounting mechanisms. So it's trying to predict what's going to happen going forward. It's not about whether it's worth $36 today. It is about if it continued on this trend, it would be worth $36. And let's think about what management is programmed to do during these periods. It behooves executive teams to be as negative as possible. Okay. Your stock is already down 90%. There is no consequence to being negative right now. And this goes for all companies. Most stocks are down large amounts this year. The executive team can come out and say, things look like they're getting worse. We don't know what to, we can't see through. We need to lower SBF because it's not their fault. It's the economy, stupid. There's these outside forces nobody can control. We are prey to it. So as a management team, why wouldn't you take this opportunity to sandbag? The lower you can get expectations, the more you can beat them on the other end. And right now, since you can't control whether your stock goes down because it is market forces out of your control, you might as well get as much future goodwill as possible by making it seem even worse than it, because again, to your private investors, to your large holders on those private boardroom calls and all that shit, you're not that negative. You're spinning it rosy. You don't want these people to sell their investments. Yeah. Okay. But in public, you want to sandbag as much as possible. And the sound bites you've been getting out of Coinbase that have leaked publicly have all been negative, right? Warning employees that it could be a long trudge. We don't know how long this winter is going to be. We have to cut costs. We have to do all this type of stuff.
I
Why
mean,
not
that's
do that?
textbook managing expectations too,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. So they're managers. It's what they do. And it's the one reason that even though you understand that it's cheap right now, if you believe the business is coming back, you can't just say, well, how are they not fairly valuing it here? You know, why isn't it? Da, da, da. There's reasons. Market's a discounting mechanism. If it's wrong, there's your asymmetry. That's how people make money. But the market is going to discount as far as it can see. And right now, as far as it can see, business is going down and management is talking like it's going to get worse. So it makes sense here. I think it is honestly anything under $50 is cheap to me. This is very cheap. $50. I think that if you believe that by the end of next year, business is coming back, it's going to at least stabilize and start to go up. I think it's a $70 or $80 stock. So I wouldn't even mind paying 50 or 60 for it when I'm looking out long terms. I think that's cheap. This is a gift. This is a very big discount.
Start buying
In my
some
opinion.
2-year call options on this or something.
Yeah, those are called leaps. I would caution most people to not mess around with options. You know, duration is a tough game. It's a tough
Yeah.
game. You never. Yes, you understand something's going to be good long term, but even figuring out a window like that can be difficult. So
The options loss porn on like the Reddit, like the GameStop or the what was that, Wall Street Bets and stuff like
right
that is insane.
now, those
Like it's
people
just
aren't buying leaps. They tend to buy very
no, they're
short dated
yeah,
options out a month, or they'll even buy weeklies
just
and
pure degen.
pure
Yeah.
degen. Now, leaps are a much better way to do it. But again, the people pricing those leaps are very smart. Okay. They understand. They're not trying to give away free money here. Those leaps tend to price in a good amount of that premium. You got to be very right in your predictions. So it's a slower route, but it's buying common stock, selling when you have nice gains, and re-rolling that money into other issues. That's how you compound. Compounding when you are low liquid. Once you have a lot of money, it's more about protecting and preserving capital. When you're trying to build up your capital, compounding is the most. That's why you should never be mad if you sell something and it continues to go up. All right. If you buy something and it goes 10x, okay, and
Yeah, you've
then
made your money.
you've made right, and you're not going. You can always find something else that is going to go up just the same, okay, but you're coming at it with fresh eyes, a fresh stop. All right. You're not married to it because it's gone up so much, but there are always opportunities in the market. And now you can sell and take an even bigger position on the next thing. That's how you compound. And you compound that way until your stack is so big, your strategy changes to preserving capital. But compound. So, we picked that biotech stock. We talked about Madrigal Pharma. It's $260 right now. It's continued to go up. It got upgraded. There are people buying leaps for next year that imply that it's going to $400 or $500. But we sold. Because again, what if it takes a year to get to 400? That's not even a double from here. You don't think we're going to find another double over the next year? So it don't worry about gains that you didn't make if you're still in a capital building phase. Just compound. Sell, compound, move on to the next one. Take a slightly bigger bet. Sell, compound, move on to the next one.
That's what it's all about, man. And I mean, hey, people have had a lot of success with that in NFTs too, right? Like just taking small little wins and then minting into bigger projects, minting bigger position sizes and whatnot. I'm not saying that that's super doable right now, but that's definitely seen that happen.
Markets
But
rallying.
NFT difficult market. What's that?
Traditional markets rallying very nicely here. Coins not, and it's so hilarious because yesterday traditional markets were flat to down and coins were rallying, and then today traditional markets rallying and coins just doing nothing, just flat, sitting there. $10 range for at least 24 hours now, like 12.10 to 12.20. Has it been 24 hours? I'm looking at this range. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. That happened on what was it, Monday evening? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's go back to our friend SBF.
Our Sammy boy is coming home for Christmas.
He's coming home for Christmas. Yeah, there's he has decided that he doesn't want to stay in the Bahamas anymore. Maybe that prison was not to his liking. Apparently the conditions not good. I don't know.
Well, he did
Regardless,
follow Hardwood yesterday.
what's that?
He followed Hardwood.
What do you mean?
There's a Twitter user.
He's still on Twitter?
In the crypto Twitter community called Hardwood. And
Okay.
his whole shtick is he types gay things on people's posts and says, I'm gay. This is not me being facetious or, literally go look at his it's his shtick. It's a shtick he does. This is his thing. And people found it very interesting that after 12 days in the Bahamanian jail, the only Twitter account SBF followed on the way out was Hardwood. Anyway.
Well, he is going to be coming home. He should be actually back in the U.S. at some point today. I don't think that he was ever. I don't think the Americans were ever not going to let this happen.
You know what I would do? I'd be like, oh shit, I left something back in the penthouse. You mind if I just go grab it and you never see me again?
Just like my father.
Totally outsmart thing. Come on, totally outsmart.
Also, a lot of pressure right now. I guess the political parties are being told to return all of the money that were
return the money.
Yeah, give it back. Divest yourselves from your, I guess, beholden nature to SBF, and let's move on with this right here. But
did he donate it to them in FTT tokens? Because that could be relatively difficult. There's not a lot of
that would be incredible, but no, it was actually done in dollars. I don't think there's an FTT donation button on those sites. But
so one of the funnier things to me was that in some of these deals he made with like Skybridge Capital and Kevin O'Leary invested, SBF gave him $15 million and asked him to buy FTT with it.
Kevin O'Leary did?
Yeah. And he did this to a lot of people. He was asking, he would give people money and then say, buy FTT. And the obvious thing here is it looks like the people who are now your investors, like Skybridge Capital has invested in us. Look at how legitimate we are. And they just went out and bought $15 million of FTT. Whoa, you know what I mean? Oof, boy. Oof.
Down bad.
You got to, this is so fascinating. The problem is he seems like a pathological liar that we may never get the truth out of, but it's just so interesting. Like there's got to be a point where you're not getting away with it, right? Like or I don't know. I don't know.
I do find like the psychological elements of this to be the most interesting, because we really, really don't see too many people, once they are obviously in trouble, just go out there and talk more. Normally it's just, you're locked in this room, shut the hell up, you're not saying another word, the lawyers are talking now, the adults are talking, like just be quiet. And I mean, he doubled, triple, quadrupled down in public forums, just talking about it. And I do think that that's one of the most interesting things about this, was just, it really does seem like somebody who is just so used to talking their way out of everything that they do, or talking people into things, thinking that talking more is just the solution to the problem here. So
yeah,
I guess. Yeah, so I guess fighting extradition was said to potentially take years, and maybe spending that time in a Bahamanian prison was not going to be a fun thing to do for several years. But apparently he left in good spirits, and he was a happy and jolly person. So that's good. SBF staying positive during all this time. Did you see that thread that was going around of the guy who said, if I was SBF, here's what I'd do with my $100,000 or whatever, that, and he came up with this whole like timeline of how to flee and how to get it back.
Yes.
I wish I'd bookmarked that because it was very funny. But
Hilarious.
what else are we talking about? PayPal and MetaMask apparently are going to team up to make it easier to buy crypto. MetaMask recently kind of went through the fire and the flames with the announcement that they were going to be tracking IP addresses and all of that really fun stuff. And what went from kind of a crypto darling, the all of a sudden turned a little bleak.
Well, the government
Now
needs
they're
a
teaming
way.
up with PayPal, so I mean, there's I don't know if that's going to
The,
help their cause at all.
the government has actually been seizing a lot of crypto recently, and they need a way to sell it to the public without market dumping it on the Communist Party of China's website, Binance.
Yeah, I got where you were going with that. I don't know if anybody else did, but
I had to.
um,
I am anonymous for a reason.
yeah, fair enough. No, PayPal's like this like necessary evil, at least in here, or up here in Canada. Like it seems to be one of the only ways that I can actually get my crypto into my bank account. So kind of forced to use it, but I would like it to be able to sell too. I don't know if it's just going to be a buy only function, but selling would be handy dandy, honestly.
I'll tell you, Cambo, Ocean does look bullish in the face of most alts getting killed. It looks pretty bullish here. It is the thinnest book I've ever seen in my life. Like, again, it would take not a lot of money to push it in both directions, but that of course means that if someone made it pop, 100% with 200 grand, somebody who had 200 grand worth of the coin would instantly dump that into that pop because there's no liquidity on the book. So we really need, like, I feel like it's one of those coins that would really ramp on an exogenous news event. Like I had a dream last night that Ocean made a deal with AWS to start putting their data on the chain. That would be a good day for Uncle FMC.
You think that would move markets in this?
Holy shit! I think so. It's a 94 or $100 million coin. Right now, that'd be a $2 billion coin overnight if they made a deal with AWS. Come on.
Yeah, ranked 271. Yeah, that goes straight to the top 50 for sure.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know.
They
What
do,
else?
guys, by the way.
You've probably seen the plague all over your timeline, as have I. You wanna talk about any of that?
I would love to talk about it. I feel like you know more than me. I don't know anything about it. It looked like a peppy derivative project to me. They look angry. This seems to
They're
capture the heart of grumpies. This is the grumpy project. Look at this. Look at that grumpy frog. None of them are smiling.
no, they're angry frogs for sure.
Why
But
are you so angry?
they're really coming back to life here and having a run. But it really just kind of seems to capture a the decentralized spirit, maybe, I guess I would say. Like they're really leaning into the whole anti-establishment type vibes, and decentralizing a lot of the centralized things that they believe in buying. So I don't know, man. The plague has been everywhere, but like huge run that they've been on, right? Like what's the floor price here is now 0.43. So they were down below 0.1
Is it a
for
game?
quite some time.
Is it a game?
No, it's more on the DAO side of things with the staking, and they call a system that they call earn to earn. So, I mean,
Uh,
they have a lot of detailed articles on Medium that you can start to go into and not. But man, like these things have been fucking everywhere for the last little bit.
I'm just glad people still have an appetite for DeFi, GameFi, PonsFi, whatever you want to call it. I'm
I
in.
think at this point, it's just people have an appetite for anything that's just causing a little bit of a buzz, right?
Yeah.
I think really it's just at this point people are seeking out where the attention is, and I don't know, kind of manifesting it, I suppose. But what's going on outside? Dogs fighting or something.
Oh, Canada.
The X copy meme card did launch. It's been selling at about 5 ETH, so pretty big pretty big end to the season 1 of meme cards by 6529, and we'll watch
What's the
that one a
edition
little
on
bit.
these? How many?
What's that?
How many?
420 in typical degen fashion. So
I like it.
yeah, X copy killing it. The NFT pendants have been revealed as well. So, or sorry, the NFTIF. I should say the CryptoPunk and Tiffany pendants are revealing. So you get to see which ones were actually redeemed. That was I don't know. That was a pretty big thing there for a little while, right?
I'd wear one.
You'd rock that?
Hell yeah. If I own the punk. I think it's classy. I think it's demure. I believe it is good looking.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things that you store away in a vault. No, you don't. You want to be out on the street being, hey, check out my CryptoPunk. You don't. You just said you're anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody in public understands what it is. If NFTs ever get popular, sure, I'll. And no,
You know
I
what?
wouldn't wear it to a
Honestly, with
fucking.
like the normies, the Bored Apes and the CryptoPunks are the ones that like people recognize, even if they don't understand that it's NFTs.
I don't think. I think not a lot of people know what Doge is, and more people know what Doge is than know what CryptoPunks are, and that's not even a
Oh,
lot.
that's 100% true.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I would feel extremely comfortable walking around New York City wearing this necklace out and about and even showing it to people. Would I go to an ETH conference in Bogota wearing this fucking chain? No. And I would stop having ETH conferences in notoriously crime
Seriously, yeah.
This is crypto, you dum-dums. Everyone's in control. All their money is in their pocket. It's not in a bank. We are bankless. This is the dumbest fucking thing. You need to have crypto conventions in the largest cities in the world with massive security. Not even Miami. Miami's a fucking cesspool. I wouldn't be caught dead in Miami.
Here the New Yorker's coming out right now.
Oh my God. Who would go to Miami? Do you know how I can't. I'm just
please do. Go.
There is a ring of watch thieves. Now, I am not a watch person. I find expensive watches fine for people who are passionate about them, but I think most people who buy expensive watches just want to wear lots of money on their wrists. And there are now crime rings in Las Vegas and Miami that are literally trained at slipping the watches off your wrist in clubs, bumping into you. And this is, stop holding crypto conventions in third world countries like Miami.
It's a soundbite right there. Yeah, man. I remember seeing somebody wearing a Patek Philippe for the first time, just like really casually, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's such an obscene amount to be wearing on your wrist. But I guess for some people it's a drop in the bucket. So
you don't actually own a Patek Philippe. You just keep it for the next generation.
Is that the tagline?
That is. And if I ever were to own an expensive timepiece, it would be a Patek Philippe. And
yeah, they're stunning.
Philippes are they're so low key. Like, you need to know what you're looking. Now, don't get me wrong. The crime rings are trained. They know to look for the Patek Philippe. Your average person may just think that's a nice watch on your wrist and not understand that Patek Philippe is so many leagues ahead of places like Audemars or Rolex. Like, those are joke watch. Like, a Rolex when I see somebody fucking flexing a Rolex, I laugh. And so that's nouveau riche, my friend. That
I
is
mean,
nouveau riche.
Rolex is like driving a nice Mercedes. Nothing
Right.
like
It's
it's
nouveau
yeah,
riche.
it's still an incredible yeah. I remember when I saw it. It was at work. When I was working in restaurants, and the guy was sitting at the bar, and he had his arm around his wife or his lady friend or whatever, and so his watch was like very much just right there. And I remember saying to somebody else, I said, "Walk by that guy and like look at that guy's watch and tell me tell me what you think it's worth." Um, and the answer was unsurprisingly very low compared to what it was actually worth. So you're right, right? It's not that it's outlandish when you're wearing it. So,
Yeah,
but I am
it's
not a
not
watch
bad.
expert. Hmm?
Like I've seen some of the Bored Ape watches and jewelry that's like if you put diamonds in your watch, you have a small PV. Anyway, should we go to the next should we go to
Yeah,
the
I mean, again, like I said, kind of at the top of the show, we're running a little bit thin on actual like Web3 content for now. The plag's been
like the
everywhere.
order books, baby? Thin.
Yeah. So I mean, we can even wrap up the show somewhat early too if it's getting boring, which is fine. But Bored Apes tweeted out a thread yesterday evening, depending on where you are in the world. You won't believe your eyes. Details in thread. Tomorrow, the trial of Jimmy the Monkey starts with a short film kicking off a new chapter in the lore of Bored Ape Yacht Club. Pieces of the narrative will be released along the way. Pay attention to the signs. Details might be important down the line. Things come to a head in late January with a free, playable, interactive mint experience for Bored Apes and Mutant Ape holders. You'll be asked to test your skills and your knowledge. I guess maybe that's the trial that they were um, hinting at earlier when we talked about this. I think it was in mid-November. Keep these mints close. Don't let them fall into the wrong hands. The trial is the prologue to a series of activations coming over the course of next year. Pro tip: when it comes to the mint, apes, Bored Ape or Mutant Ape, who also hold a Bored Ape Kennel Club, will be in tiers of their own. There will also be an optional ape spend mechanic for those looking to enhance their minting experience. It goes on to kind of give this infographic here about what you're looking for and what you want to be holding. Reminder: use the news.yuga.com website, the official Bored Ape Discord and Twitter account for the mint. Yeah, I guess anytime this happens, the Bored Apes become just a little bit more exposed to scams and whatnot. But I mean, Yuga seems to be really leaning into the storytelling kind of meta. I don't buy that it's a meta. I think it's more of a standard. But I think that they have probably a pretty big year planned ahead of them. I mean, 2021 was huge for them. I think 2022 was absolutely massive for Yuga. Now bringing on the Blizzard Activision COO. And I think 2023, regardless of what a kind of a year for crypto and NFTs is, I think Yuga is going to continue to really try and just do it up big, you know.
I
And no, I'm
I
not a paid Yuga shill.
well,
I do find that they kind of have that just do cool shit vibe, you
Yuga
know.
is the bellwether in our industry. They can they have the ability to start something. They are being countered by a bear market, and let us see how it comes out on the other side. Dogs flying yesterday because as they released the tiers, which shows, I guess it was rights to mint, whatever. I guess they're minting something else coming up or whatever. It showed that
Yeah. Late January.
having a dog gets you in a much higher tier. So
Yeah.
dogs were flying. I saw some comments suggesting that while yes, dogs should be valuable because of that, should they really be this? Should there really be that ratio to mutants? I think they were 60% the price of mutants at that point. And you wonder what the ratio of floor price should be dog to mutant. What's the supply on dogs? Is it 25K or is it 10K?
No, it's 10K. They were 1-to-1 with Bored Apes.
Yeah, so there's less dogs. That's interesting. Less dogs than mutants.
Let me just pull up Bored Ape Kennel Club here.
You always have the bastard V1s out. Are you jonesing for a V1? Are you shopping?
No, I don't know why like this browser in particular defaults to that collection when I type in OpenSea.
I love it.
Not sure if we've talked about Makamono just yet. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about it either. I have been very busy as well, so I'm just trying to keep my my ears to the ground. So I mean, yeah, Kennel Club over the last November, over the last month has doubled. Yesterday going from about 6.5 ETH to up to 8.3 right now. So pretty good run. But yeah, there's just under 10K of the kennel clubs, and then of course the mutants were the 20K collection. But according to this infographic here, where did I go? This one. A mutant ape is the lowest tier. Only a mutant ape is the lowest tier.
And this
you don't get anything for only owning.
This is in the metaverse, but also in real life. Mutants are the lowest tier. All right, go ahead.
No mutant shaming here, man. You will not get access to any of this with only a Bored Ape Kennel Club. So that is kind of off the table. But yeah, it's one mutant ape and then one mutant ape and a dog will get you tier 2. One Bored Ape is higher than a mutant ape and a dog. And then of course an ape and a dog. And then all three is going to be kind of the upper echelon of this. I guess the thing that is intriguing to me is that they mentioned there's going to be an ape spend mechanic. And, we all saw what happened with the other side. Now, is it going to be to the same extent? Obviously, I would imagine not. But I do think that there's probably a play here, right? If we look at ApeCoin, not really moving on any of this news, still down 1%, right? So, I mean, trading sideways. I don't know. Maybe long ape into that late January kind of mint experience might be a thing, or you could just presume that maybe everybody that would be a part of this has enough ape already to participate in how they want. I don't really know, but we shall see with that.
Woo! S&P is ramping.
Is it? I guess to finish off the conversation about the Bored Apes, though, I am excited for the potential that this could bring excitement back. You know what I mean? Like, just generate some buzz, have some big, large scale mint at the beginning of 2023, and just bring some life back to the market. That could be a thing. And if it's not, it's going to be like Groundhog Day, like 4 more months of winter.
Ground your hog.
Yeah, S&P. What's it up to right now? And I'm 10 minutes behind.
39.03.
Oh, okay. Running.
Nice leg up. Here we go. This is resistance. If it's going to fail, it's going to fail here. But I will say this, breadth, okay? Breadth, which is the amount of stocks up versus down and how much they are up versus how down the stocks that are down are. Very, very strong internals. This looks like a trend day. I've been enthusiastically bullish on stocks the last 3 sessions as we've been in a bottoming process. Boy, I thought it was hilarious that bears were making fun of the Santa rally. Like, oh, Santa didn't show up. I'm like, it's December 17th. When does Santa come to your house, you fucking idiots? Give it a minute. Morons. Oh, Santa didn't show up. First of all, after Jerome Powell, we hit 4180. I wrote a goddamn Substack called Santa Rally saying the top would be 4150. Oh, God forbid. We overshot 30 points and pulled back. And everyone's like, oh, Santa's not coming. Morons. Watch the market reverse now. And then I'll have to explain that on Friday. But like I said, yes, we are at resistance right now. But if you look at the internals in the market, this looks like it could be a trend day if we hold these levels. I have felt very bullish. It feels like confirmation today. Let's get some fucking prices up.
What typically happens in the markets between Christmas and New Year's?
They float up. They float like, and they tend to float up just because there's no liquidity and people have to do a lot of, seasonality tends to dip in mid December because of things like tax loss harvesting, things like having to take profits on certain things like having to reallocate percentages of what you're in going into the new year. That happens right on schedule. And now tends to be when most people who were doing the selling go away on vacation and markets just magically float up into end of year. They don't boom, rally, insane bull market that captures your attention. They just slowly, I could see us easily slowly floating up to 4,000 or 4,100 by the time we get back on the new year. And the more negativity we had, which I had been saying the last two, I said, how is everyone getting so negative? The Fed said nothing new. There's nothing new said. The only new data we've been getting has been positive. And then you turn around and say, oh, but the Fed is still saying this. Stop listening to the words and start looking at what the data is telling you. It was bizarre. It was encouraging in a way how bearish people got the last 2 weeks, because that's how you load up for another leg higher. You need negative people out there to be the ones who buy back their shorts. So really surprised at how people bought back into the same negative narrative, which is dead. And it's not to say the narrative can't come back, but you're pounding the table on ideas that the data is proving are no longer viable in the short term. So I do think that seasonality, which tends to lend itself to the market floating up anyway, has a tailwind of great data. And I think people are just going to go, wait a minute, why the fuck have we been bearish the last 2 weeks? What are we looking at? What are we doing?
It's just easy to be a bear, isn't it?
Well, as after this year, yes. But I always say, people think that the majority of people out there are bulls, right? People are ignorant, optimistic bulls who just think the market goes up. And that is so patently false. The majority of the people in the world are bears, okay? The majority, at least half the macro big hedge fund, they all have a bearish lean. They just have that bearish lean to them. Then there's the majority of the people on the planet who will never risk $1 of their hard-earned money in the casino that is the stock market. At most, they may get exposure in their 401k, but they don't even know how that works. They just contribute money to a thing. They don't know what's going on there. Most people are bearish because they don't understand the stock market. And it is very easy once you get confirmation from price. Remember, bull markets climb walls of worry. Nobody believes it. Everyone looks back and goes, oh, everyone was stupidly bullish. Everyone was dumb. And the whole way up, everyone was telling you it was a bubble. The whole way up. And every time you got to short-term resistance and pulled back, the same people today claiming to be geniuses and smart and saw it coming, they all said that was the top back then. They always thought the top was coming. Always remember, the majority of people in the world are bearish. Bulls are the one fighting against the current, but that's why things continue to go up. People don't believe it. And then they capitulate at the top. Say, fuck it, we have to buy. It's your exit liquidity. Now, look at what happened yesterday, all right? Again, 2 weeks of just utterly negative coverage, but for what? For nothing new. And then yesterday, we get Nike and FedEx, two bellwethers of the United States economy that have huge implications for how business is doing in general, knock the fucking cover off the ball when reporting earnings yesterday. I thought we were in a recession. I thought shit was getting worse. I thought I was supposed to be negative. Yet FedEx is seeing a huge bump in shipping. People are out there buying $300 sneakers during a recession to the point where analysts didn't even expect them to be buying that much. Fucking hogwash. You're being sold a false narrative and people are buying it because price happened to confirm. This is a natural move in markets, especially in a response to what's happening in the bond market. This is a once in a lifetime dislocation of interest rates. There was always going to be repercussions to that. Anything larger than that, 2008, depression, secular bear, all that bullshit they're feeding you right now, because again, they now have the confirmation bias. They're just as illusioned as you were at 4,800 at the top as they are now thinking we're going to zero. Don't buy into those narratives. Price is going to be volatile, but this is not 2008. The bull market is not over. It is not even remotely over. Believe that.
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
What is going on? I just realized I forgot that like KPR, if you're holding any of those, is doing like a contract remigration, and you have to take off all of the orders or bids or whatever that you have on there.
And there's going to be some sort of gamification or like burning, I guess, something like that. I hear people like, oh, if you weren't ready for the burn, or yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
It's,
I would like to recoup some of my KPR bags, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's the holy trinity of anime projects, right? You have, well, I guess there's
KPR.
Well, you have KPR,
yeah.
KPR, PXN, Azuki, and now Valhalla, right? Is there one that I'm forgetting that's in that mold? Everyone always puts those.
Oh, well, if there's one that you're forgetting, don't worry. People will tell you about it.
Yeah. But these four have participated in, I guess, what you would call either an anime pump, a gaming, they feel like similar projects, and they've all enjoyed in a little pump here since Valhalla started to catch a bid. And of course, Azuki too, honestly, getting above the other blue chip projects that they were holding, Doodles, twice the price of a Doodle, right? I mean, and what's crazy to me is all these other projects have a gaming focus. Azuki is just like a story. Like, you want to talk about a storytelling NFT that's doing well? What is Azuki? It's nothing. And it's doing so great. Those are the best NFT projects. What pressure is there on Azuki? I don't know what their roadmap is. We don't even know what the beans do. I don't think they know what the beans do. It just works because there's so much fun. It just works.
Yeah. Oh God, Azuki. I guess there was like Murray. Murray was in there. There were a bunch of other ones, but I don't know. Valhalla is. I mean, it's holding up incredibly well. I am.
Holy shit!
Thoroughly impressed that it's dipped below 1 ETH a couple of times, and then just managed to bounce right back. And the floor is pretty thin.
Wow.
But
39.10 on the S&Ps. And I just want to say, I watch about 150 stocks daily that I trade around or whatever. 4 of them are down. 146 are up. I tend to watch more volatile stocks. That is insane breadth. Insanely strong internals right now.
we're bullish. We're back, baby. Live on the show.
Boy. And it looks as bullish now as it looked bearish on the way. I think the most alarming thing about the last 2 weeks that caught people off guard was how much individual stocks were down. When you saw, I mean, Tesla, which has been the huge story, of course, because Elon is controlling the news cycle right now, or Apple making new year lows, Amazon, you're talking about the largest companies in the world making new lows, lower lows than they made back in June, or excuse me, back in October when the market hit its year to date. I remember the S&P was at 3,500, okay? All of those stocks that I mentioned, Meta, Amazon, Apple, they were all much higher when we hit 3,500. Now the market's at 3,900 and all those stocks are at new low. That is insane. What that is telling you, again, is that funds are being forced to take profits in their winners, okay? And remember, if you've been holding Apple for X number of years, you're sitting on huge bags right now, right? They have to sell those things to get liquidity, but they're hedging it by buying futures. So there's a put under the market where individual stocks were getting killed worse than the indexes. And also which stocks were going down were different than the ones that were going down in October. So it is a very, very interesting moment in markets that tricked a lot of people, because the way that we went down the last 2 weeks made people feel like, well, same old 2022, back into bear market mode, going to zero. It felt like that. It felt like that. And now it feels the opposite. The breadth today is broad-based buying. This is very bullish on its face. Let's hope it lasts more than a day. And
Oof.
coins, wake up. Wake up, coins. Look at the S&P for
looking at
fuck's
my
sake.
stocks right now. I'm down bad.
What? Today?
No, not today.
Oh, I was going to say name one stock of yours that's down today. I bet you don't have one down stock in your portfolio today.
I
will make that bet.
My Ether ETF is down.
You have an ETH ETF
I do.
in Canada?
Yep.
Huh.
Sure do.
I didn't know about that.
I might start slamming some more into that, honestly.
I am of the belief that ETH is cheap here. I just don't know when it's going to become fairly priced, because no one's willing to do that for. Man, come on. Everything bullish.
Let's look at my other account here.
We need to look up
oh yeah, my ARK
Mono.
My ARK is up. Nice run there.
Yep.
Huh. Cool.
Go look up Makimono.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the comments from the homie JRP.
Where am I looking for this? On Twitter?
Maybe. Let me see. My Twitter has been so broken, and I would like to believe it is not because of Elonathan Musk. Here's an example. I get about half the notifications that I'm supposed to. Like, if I go look at things, like if I go look at the tweet specifically, there will be more engagement in the stats than there is that shows up in my notifications.
Right.
It is so. And then yesterday, anytime I push the retweet button in my app, it acts as a reply. It tries to make me reply to it. The retweet button broke. Yes, Twitter is. My DMs totally broken. Totally broken. I don't know.
I guess this is a mint or something going down today. 12/21, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I mean, it's good art. What's the supply?
I don't know. I know as much as you do right now.
There. What's the supply?
Mint will be tomorrow. 3 raves. OG free claim for travelers who received a list. Whitelist mint at 0.0092 per transaction. Public sale 0.0092 per transaction. Contract will be posted ahead of time. Here.
Did you see the Scottie Pippen mint yesterday?
8,000 adventurers. Oh no, that's the Twitter following. I've seen like rumblings about it. Yeah, Scottie Pippen. Do you have a link for it?
Scottie Pippen. It was the front page of OpenSea yesterday. It may still be in their top collections. You should go check it out. This is great
art. Oh, yeah.
It's fabulous art. This Makimono. It is. It's great. I think it does. It's not going to make a good PFP, and that could be what hurts them. This art is like next level. There's no denying that. I think the only issue, again, is that it's not going to make a good PFP.
Well, unless this isn't like the actual what you're minting, like
right.
Unless you can like draw a circle around that or something, you know?
Yeah. I am with you. This is great art. I'm wondering if this artist would make more as a one-of-one artist in crypto art than doing a PFP collection in this style. But man, it's gorgeous. I'll keep my eye on it because it says that it'll kick everything to a public.
Yeah,
this doesn't.
I won't be around for that, but good luck if you
Good
hit.
looking art. Good looking art.
I am. I actually really want to start getting into doing some like one-of-one pixel art, working on stuff like that on top of the other stuff. So I actually just been really enjoying doing that.
Love it.
All right, man. I think I'm good. I gotta go to the bathroom, so we can start to wrap this up. Thank you for sharing that JRP.
I am very disheartened that my altcoin is not making new highs along with the S&P. S&P, so strong, so beautiful.
So hot right now.
So hot. First Solar, Pan W, Cybertronics. Is it Smith & Wesson? Who is this? Those are the only 4 that are down on mine. And the euro is down, but we want
Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, that'd be the gun companies.
Yeah, I'm aware.
They are great to play around political cycles. So the next good Smith & Wesson play is going to be if Democrats look like they're going to win the next election, people go out and buy a lot of guns because, Democrats are going to ban guns. If Republicans look like they're going to win a collection, gun sales go down because people are like, we don't need to rush out and buy. Guns are going to be fine. Republicans are in office. Every cycle, you get that.
That's good to know because I would have thought it would have been the opposite.
Right? Isn't it? Yeah. It that's why the play works a lot because it's kind of counterintuitive, though when you think about it, it makes sense. If one side is going to take them away and one side...
Yeah. It's time to load up. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. What do you got going on today? Anything good?
Cleaning my Smith & Wesson shorty 9mm. No, nothing interesting. Christmas thing.
Yeah, I gotta get some. I have to have a productive couple days here. It's crazy that we are a couple days away.
Couple of days.
So
4
I
days.
got some gifts to wrap, some last minute things to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go out for lunch with some friends tomorrow.
Nice.
Should be good. And then damn, so soon. All right, guys, let's wrap up episode 178 of the AM show. A little bit more casual. We're gonna try and plan a kind of year in review. I'll try and dig out the old. We did one the end of last year, the beginning of this year, where we did the predictions and stuff like that. So maybe it'll be fun to see how that went. Newsflash: it all went very badly. But yeah, so that should be fun. And then of course, next episode on Friday will be the last one of 2022. So on that note, I appreciate everybody showing up today, hanging out with us, just enjoying the low key vibes. Hit like if you want, that would be great. Appreciate it. Free market. Say the words.
Good luck at the tables, D-Jones.